episode 82. I'm Billy. That's Tim. This is All the Everything podcast.
Yeah, so welcome back to our summer short series. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and we've got another great one for you guys today. Well, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Are you ready, my friend?
You better believe it. Let's get into all the everything, y'all.
All the everything. 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 Podcast! Welcome to the madness.
Well, welcome back to yet another amazing episode of All the Everything podcast. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Tim Sawhook, and I'm joined by my friend, Billy, High Definition Parchman. Billy, how you doing today, buddy?
Man, I am great. I'm great, man.
Now, let me tell you what makes Billy High Definition. The reason I said that is because he upped his light game. If you can tell, he looks well lit, not in a drunk way, but he's very well lit in a production way. And he's updated his camera. He's looking crisp, looking high def, and looking good, Billy.
Yes. Yeah. It's so funny because when we first started off, I was with a webcam and just a couple of like smaller lights and stuff like that. And then I finally got the lights that I've been wanting, and those I'm very happy with. So yeah, I'm excited. And of course, the new camera
Looks great.
Yeah, thank you.
It
It should.
good. It should for that price.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, like we said at the beginning, we got some great short stories for you today. And Billy, what are we gonna talk to them about? What are these stories? What's the
Well,
mystery?
this one's gonna be like one of those. Wait, is this real? Is this real life right now? And we're gonna be sharing some crazy stories that don't even seem like they're possible. But guess what? These are true stories that really
Mhm.
happened.
So without further ado, Billy, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll kick us off here. So Christmas Eve, 1971, 17-year-old Julianne Kopek boarded a flight over the Peruvian rainforest with her mother. It should have been a normal trip home for the holidays. Instead, it became one of the most unbelievable survival stories ever recorded. The
Ooh.
craziest part, she fell 2 miles out of the sky and lived.
Wait, what? Did you say 2 miles?
2 miles
Oh
out
my
of the
gosh.
sky, no parachute, and lived. That's right.
Oh, wait a
This is
minute.
real life.
This is no parachute either?
No parachute. No.
Wow.
Okay.
Wait, is this real?
This is real. This is real life, y'all. This is crazy.
All right.
Bringing the craziness for you. Okay.
Bring the crazy. Let's go.
Yeah. So the plane was flying from Lima, Peru to let me see how you say this. Pucallpa, Peru. If I butchered that, I'm sorry to the people there.
We love our listeners from Pucallpa, so thank you
That's right.
so much for listening.
Yes, we love you. I don't want to. Yes, but they were traveling from Lima to there on Christmas Eve. The weather that day was horrible. Thunderstorms, heavy turbulence, lightning everywhere. Passengers were nervous, but Julianne's mother was calm. She was an expert biologist who had flown through storms before. But then things got bad fast. The plane entered into a massive thunderstorm over the Amazon rainforest. Julianne later recalled lightning flashing constantly outside of the window. The aircraft shook violently. Luggage started flying from overhead compartments. People were screaming. Then lightning struck the airplane. A massive flash exploded near the wing, and then suddenly the aircraft began to break apart midair.
Oh my God.
Now imagine being 17 years old and realizing your plane is literally disintegrating around you. Seats ripped loose, wind screaming through the cabin, people crying, metal tearing apart in the sky.
Jeez.
Then Julianne was no longer inside the plane. She was falling, still strapped in the row of seats,
Oh
2
my
miles
gosh.
above the rainforest. And somehow she stayed conscious during all of it. Oh, man.
I don't think I'd want to stay conscious.
I don't think I would either. I don't think I would either.
Yeah.
She later said that she could see the jungle spinning below her as she plummeted through the air.
Oh
No,
no!
no parachutes, no protection. Just a teenager falling from the sky into the Amazon rainforest on Christmas Eve. Then
Man.
everything went black. When Julianne woke up the next morning, she was lying on the jungle floor alone. The plane was gone, no rescue teams, no people,
Wow.
nothing. At first, she thought she was dreaming, but then she realized something horrifying. She had survived the fall somehow, and to this day, experts still fully do not understand how. One theory is that the row of seats kind of acted like a crude parachute while rotating
Mm.
downward through the
Yeah.
trees. Another said that the dense rainforest canopy softened her impact. But whatever happened, it was basically impossible. It was a miracle. And somehow the story keeps getting crazier. Julianne she had broken her collarbone. She had
Okay.
a deep cut on her arm that was filled with maggots. One
Oh.
eye was swollen nearly shut, and she was completely alone in the Amazon rainforest.
Mm.
Now, if you know anything about the Amazon, that might actually be the scariest part of the story, more scary than the plane crash, because the rainforest is brutal. You get snakes, spiders, insects,
Mhm.
floodwaters, predators. You can die there in 100 different ways without even without even trying, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But Julianne had one massive advantage. Her parents were zoologists who studied the rainforest. So she
Mm.
had grown up around jungle survival.
Okay.
So she had that knowledge. So while most people would panic immediately, Julianne remembered something her father had taught her. If you find water, follow it. Eventually, streams lead to people. So this
Mm.
17-year-old crash survivor began walking through the Amazon alone for days. No food, barely any supplies, and injured. And
Mhm.
every night, the jungle became terrifying. Animals screaming in the darkness, buzzing insects everywhere, things moving through the trees. At one point, she encountered caimans, which are like small little alligators, that
Oh,
are
okay.
there. Or not alligator, they're more like crocodiles. Um, Another time,
Both terrifying.
both time, yeah, you don't want to be around those.
No.
Yeah. Another time, vultures started circling above her because they thought she was dying and they were ready to eat.
Mm.
Oh, man. She did find some candy from the wreckage at one point. That was basically all she had to eat. Meanwhile, search teams were desperately looking for survivors, but the jungle was so dense that they couldn't see the wreckage from the air, which meant
Mm.
Julianne was essentially invisible. Then came one of the wildest moments of the story, like it could get any wilder.
Yeah, really.
About yeah, after about 10 days alone in the rainforest, 10 days,
Jeez.
Julianne found a small boat tied near a hut in the river. Finally, some type of evidence of people.
Mhm.
Inside the hut, she found gasoline. Now, remember the infected wound with the
Mm.
maggots in her arm?
Mhm.
Julianne remembered that her father once telling her that gasoline could force out parasites. So she poured gasoline directly on the wound. Could
Oh
you
my
just
gosh.
imagine how painful that was?
No.
You put like rubbing alcohol on a cut to clean it, and
Yeah. It's
that's
enough to
like
make you jump.
yeah, exactly. And she poured pure gasoline on this infected wound. I guess you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, just imagine a 17-year-old performing self-surgery on yourself after surviving falling from the sky.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it worked. Dozens of maggots crawled out of her arm, which is
Oh.
a good thing that they got out. And
Yeah.
that's a big sentence in all of these other sentences that I've said, right? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Eventually, local lumber workers returned to the hut and they found her. At
Mm.
first, they thought she was some kind of jungle spirit because of how unbelievable her appearance was. This
Mhm.
battered teenager emerging from the rainforest alone after a plane explosion sounded impossible. But this was real, and the workers helped carry her to safety. And then the full scale of the miracle became clear. Out of 92 people on board the flight, Julianne was the only survivor. She was
Wow.
the only one.
Wow.
Man.
The fact that she was awake for the whole fall. Oh my God. Just
Falling
knocked me
from
out
the
for that
sky.
part. And then the
Thinking
way
that
she woke up.
you're thinking that's the last moments of your life. I mean, how do you
Oh,
survive free falling from an airplane?
you don't, except for this
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Have they made this into a movie at all?
Well, I did when doing research. She returned years later
Yeah.
with filming crews, like back to the place where she landed. So
Mhm.
not only that, she went back there.
Wow.
And so I don't know if they ever made a movie about it or like a documentary or what, but yeah, she took a crew back to
Wow.
show
That's so
exactly where she
crazy.
landed and kind of how she survived and where she went and all that. But that's
Yeah,
oh
it makes
man,
you wonder how long she laid there until she woke up.
right? Yeah, that's man. I mean, just like I thought that was the perfect story for this because it doesn't seem real, but it was. So yeah,
That is so crazy. Yeah.
yeah,
There's different parts of the story I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh." Like, you said her being terrified at night in the jungle. If I hear somebody outside my house bark weird in the middle of the night, I'm freaking out.
yeah. I
Um,
am too. Yes.
like, what is happening outside the doors?
Yep.
Um, yeah, just all of that. And then, I mean, and the fact that, everything we know this was God intended in this story, like, for crying out loud, we know.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
fact that her parents were the biologists and she knew all these things, and she knew about the gasoline and the presence of mind to do it after being exhausted, just eating where the heck did candy come from, by the way?
Right.
Just
I guess
on
she
the
just
plane?
I guess part of the plane was in, after walking down the way, she found part of the wreckage and
Wow.
found some candy. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I mean,
But
great
yeah,
for her. It just seems so random. And like, she found some candy, and I was like, wait, did she think it was candy? She was eating like some crazy mushrooms. The candy's delicious.
some bugs. It's like
Yeah.
Lion King, like
Yeah, exactly.
grubs. They're like, ooh, a Snickers. It was a hard fall. She's kind of concussed.
I would definitely say so. That is so
Oh,
crazy, Billy.
all right, brother. What you got for us?
Picture this. You walk into a funeral home expecting sadness, quiet music, flowers, people whispering awkward condolences while balancing little tiny plates with food that they have served there. And then the dead woman starts banging on the inside of the coffin. Not metaphorically, not spiritually, physically banging from the inside of her coffin. Now, that sounds like a setup to either the greatest horror movie ever made or the beginning of a lawsuit worth billions of dollars, right?
Oh my
But
gosh.
this actually happened, and somehow the real story is even creepier than the headline. So let's get into it. So we're heading to Ecuador, June of 2023.
Okay.
A 76-year-old woman named Bella Montoya was rushed to a hospital after suffering what doctors believe was a severe stroke and a cardiac arrest. Medical staff worked on her for a long time, but eventually doctors declared her dead, and her family was devastated. Now, before we go further, I need everyone listening to really put themselves in this situation, right? Because death is strange. There's chaos, panic, shock. Nobody in that room is thinking clearly at the moment. You trust the doctors, right? You trust the machines. You trust the process. And
Right.
if they say your loved one is gone, you just believe them, right? Like the doctor says, we did everything good. They passed away. Why would you be like, well, let's take another look? You just trust the process. That's normal life. So Bella's family did what grieving families do. They made arrangements, calls were made, relatives gathered, food was prepared, people drove in from out of town. And within hours, Bella Montoya was lying inside a coffin at her own funeral wake. Now, depending on your background, you may not know what a wake is. So, in many cultures, especially through Latin America, wakes can last for hours and are often deeply emotional gatherings where family and friends spend time with the deceased before burial.
Mhm.
People cry, people pray, they tell stories, they sit in silence. And Bella's family believed they were just saying goodbye forever until something happened that no one would ever forget. About 5 hours into the wake, someone heard a noise. Like, picture being there, okay? Someone heard a noise. At first, it was subtle, a faint sound, almost like movement. Now, imagine hearing that in a funeral home just in general. Immediately, your brain starts doing the mental gymnastics, right? Did
Right.
someone drop something? Like, was that just air conditioning? Did the coffin like just settle like a house? Because your first thought is definitely not grandma's trying to escape the casket, right? That's not
Oh
your
my
first thought. But then it happened again, knocking from inside the coffin. And it was like, nope, absolutely not. I'm out. Like,
Nope.
that's what I would do. I'm
Nope.
getting the heck out.
Nope.
I would have been through a wall like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah. I'd be like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
no. and
I'm
jump
gone.
through with my body. Yeah, I'm out of here. So can we all agree there's no situation where hearing knocking from a coffin that leads to a calm response? Nobody responds rationally to that thinking, okay, there's only 3 possibilities. You're hallucinating. This place is haunted as hell. Someone buried alive, buried a living human being. And
Right.
honestly, I don't know which of these options are least terrifying in this situation. So at first, the family froze. Some reportedly thought they were imagining it. Others moved
Mhm.
closer. And then the knocking became more obvious. They heard from inside the casket. Now, people gathered around the casket, because now they're all together hearing this noise, trying to figure out
Right.
what is happening. Someone slowly opened it. That would not have been me, by the way. Someone slowly opened it, and there was Bella, alive, gasping for air, her eyes open, trying to breathe, trying to move. Can you imagine that visual?
Mm.
Picture that, Billy. They have you go bravely open the thing, and the lady's awake, and they're gasping and like flailing around. Yeah, I don't know how you move past that.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
Here's the deal. You spent hours and days grieving someone. You cried, you prayed, you mentally accepted their death. And then suddenly the dead person is looking back at you. That moment had to feel like reality itself was breaking around those people that died. It had to have been. They said, like, forget ghosts, forget zombies, forget horror movies. This was real life. So let's pause here for a second, because this is where everyone listening starts to ask the same question. How does this happen? How is this possible?
Right.
How does modern medicine accidentally declare someone dead when they're not? Well, as unbelievable as it sounds, it has happened before. Not often, but enough to terrify humanity for centuries. There's actually a medical phenomenon involving extremely weak vital signs where breathing and pulse become so faint they're difficult to detect and the person seems dead. Historically, this fear became so widespread that people were absolutely horrified of being buried alive. And
Mhm.
honestly, that's understandable. There are documented cases throughout history that sound like nightmares. In the 1800s, people became so paranoid about premature burial that inventors created safety coffins.
Right. With the
Safety
bell.
coffins, right?
Mhm.
Thanks for stealing that from me, Bill.
Sorry.
I'm just joking.
It's a real life. It's a real
It
life.
These were real coffins with bells attached,
Yep,
right? So
sorry.
the idea was that if someone woke up underground, that's fine, they could ring the bell from inside the grave. That was an actual invention, and it actually happened multiple times, which means people were terrified of this happening, that someone said, you know what? The coffin industry needs emergency exit technology. Like, get the hell out. And they said in the story, can you imagine that product in a Shark Tank pitch? All right, gentlemen, hear me out. What if dead people aren't really dead? And here's where the story becomes emotionally brutal, right? Because think about Bella herself. Okay, you're Bella in this situation. You wake up in total darkness, confused, disoriented, unable to breathe properly, and then realizing you're inside a coffin. The picturing that and feeling it, it's like, forget it.
Uh-huh.
Whew. That psychological horror on a level that most people can't even process. And what
Right.
goes through your mind? Do you think, oh, thank God I'm alive? Or you think, oh no, they think I'm dead? I mean, both brutally scary options. Because honestly, I think they'd skip directly to panic mode. I know I would. I don't care
Yeah,
how
yeah.
mentally tough you are. If you wake up trapped in a casket, your soul leaves your body for a second time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. And we talk about people at the wake, right? Now
Mhm.
we're going to think about their perspective, right? The people of the
Oh my
wake,
gosh.
because their therapy bills had to skyrocket after this event, right? There had to be some serious PTSD in their lives. Imagine being the cousin standing closest to the coffin that day. 1 second you're eating funeral cookies, the next second Meemaw starts pounding on the wood like she's auditioning for a paranormal documentary, and you're never sleeping normally again, like ever.
Right.
Every weird noise in your house after that, game over. You hear pipes creak at 2 a.m., you're moving. Now you're getting the hell out. You're grabbing your wife and kids and saying, "Not today, Satan. I'm out of here." Now, here's another layer to the story that makes it feel even more unreal if it didn't seem crazy enough. When news outlets started reporting it, people online thought it was completely fake. Because honestly, wouldn't you think that? I mean, if Billy pitched this to me, I think I couldn't even believe someone fell out of the sky 2 miles. So the headline sounds like clickbait. Woman wakes up at funeral, right? You feel like this is one of those fake tabloid things you've seen before. But this was verified, like real hospital, real family, real footage. And yes, there's actual video online of Bella laying inside the coffin, breathing after the family opened it. Don't go watch that video. I'm just telling you now.
Okay.
Which somehow makes the story even more unsettling because once you see it, your brain stops treating it like an urban legend. Now, naturally, people begin asking difficult questions. How could doctors get this so wrong? Were protocols followed correctly? Was this negligence? And honestly, these are all fair questions, right? Because this wasn't a near miss. This was hours away from becoming one of the most horrifying tragedies imaginable. Had the coffin remained sealed, had the wake been shorter, had nobody heard the sounds, this story could have ended very differently, right?
Yeah.
And that's the part that sticks with you, not just the shock, but how close this came to a disaster. What's wild is that humanity has been obsessed with stories like this forever. There's something deeply primal about the fear of being mistaken for dead. Movies use it constantly. TV shows use it constantly. Think about Kill Bill, Buried, soap operas, crime dramas. Did you ever see Buried?
I've never
Ryan
seen Buried.
Reynolds.
No.
He wakes up
No,
in a
no.
coffin and he has a cell phone the whole time, and he's trying to get that's a creepy movie. Anyhow, because of this, it hits one of the humanity's oldest fears: helplessness, being trapped, unable to communicate, aware of what's happening. It's complete nightmare fuel. And Bella Montoya accidentally lived through it in real life. Now, after she was discovered alive, Bella was rushed back to the hospital. Doctors placed her in intensive care. Her condition was still serious. And sadly, after several days of treatment, Bella eventually passed away for real. Okay, so picture emotional roller coaster, right?
Right.
So that adds another emotional twist to the story because her family essentially experienced grief twice. So first, she's gone. Second, she's alive. And then she's gone again.
She's gone again.
It's almost impossible for like the human brain to process emotionally hearing that information. Could you imagine like being one of the like close relatives in the situation? She's dead. Oh my God, you guys won't believe she is actually alive. And then, oh my God, I'm sorry, she died again.
Wow.
That's just absolutely crazy. But I think the reason this story exploded worldwide is because it forces every single person hearing it to ask themselves the same terrifying question: what would I do? If you were at the wake and you heard knocking from the coffin, would you open it immediately? Nope, not me. Or would you run directly into traffic? Because I'm telling you right now, if I hear noises coming from a casket, I'm not investigating anything. Like that's above my pay grade spiritually. Like I'm calling literally every priest, paranormal investigator, ghost hunter, and possibly the Avengers to come help me in that moment. And let's be honest, funeral homes are already creepy enough. No one's fully comfortable there. So many people have died or are dead before they get there. Everyone acts brave until they're alone in near the viewing room, which we've all been in that situation before. Sadly enough, you had to be in that. Then suddenly, every tiny sound becomes suspicious. You start walking faster. You stop making eye contact with the portraits. You absolutely do not look directly into dark hallways. And this story just confirmed every irrational fear people already had. But beyond the shock and horror of the internet headlines, there's actually something strangely human about this story, because it reminds us how fragile life really is, how thin the line can be between here and gone, how imperfect medicine still is, and how sometimes reality becomes so bizarre it sounds fictional. And not just because they're scary, not just because they're terrifying, but because they break our understanding of what's supposed to happen, right? We know things. People die, they go to a funeral home, we go do a viewing, they get buried, and you have to move on with life. Like that's just protocol in people's lives. They know that, right? Dead people aren't supposed to wake back up. Coffins aren't supposed to knock back at you. And funerals definitely aren't supposed to turn into a rescue mission. Yet somehow this did. So next time someone says, there's no way that's real, remember Bella Montoya. Because sometimes the true stories are way more believable, or rather unbelievable, than anything Hollywood can invent. And honestly, if I'm ever at a funeral again and hear knocking from the inside of a coffin, I'm not sticking around long enough to investigate. You can all call me a coward if you want, but I've seen enough horror movies to know that is how you become the first person who dies in the sequel.
Oh my gosh.
That is the crazy story of Bella Montoya.
Man, it reminds me of this one video I saw. This gentleman passed away, and he was a joker, and he, knowing he was going to be passing away soon, he recorded himself. He had it like in his will, like he wanted the speaker to be put in this coffin. And so like as they're lowering him, they hit play and you hear him, "Hey, let me out of here. Hey, guys, I'm in here. I'm locked in. It's so dark. Hey, let me out."
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is crazy. Now that's something I would like to do.
Yeah, so it made everybody laugh. It made everybody.
Wow.
It's hard.
Okay.
But I guess wherever this took place, do they just not embalm the people before they bury them?
That was my question, and they never mentioned it in the research I did about the embalming. I don't know if it was based because I think it said it was in Ecuador. Yeah, Ecuador. But this is June of 2023.
2023. Yeah,
that's not even 3 years.
Yeah,
right now from it happening.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought for. I thought maybe it was a religious belief kind of thing. Maybe it's a societal thing there in Ecuador or whatever. Because if they did the embalming, she gone.
Because I feel like the wake happened really quickly too. Like, maybe that's just how it is. I don't know. Cultural kind of, I don't know. So
yeah, I couldn't find anything about the embalming because that's the first thing I thought when I started reading the story and the research. I'm like, what about the embalming though? So,
yep. Yeah. Now, anytime you all go to Disney World or Disneyland and ride the Haunted Mansion and you go past the coffin, when they're like, "Hey, get me out of here," just think about that too. It's a story.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine that situation?
I'd be terrified.
Yeah,
terrified. And then having to go through the emotion just a couple days later of her passing away again.
Yeah, again, people went in there and shook her, like slapping her around. Meemaw, are you really dead? Are you really dead?
We're gonna make sure this time.
Oh my! I mean,
at least they already had the coffin and everything ready to go. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
Is the coffin was it listed again on sale as gently used?
Too soon. They didn't have to buy new stuff, right?
Oh God, they probably nailed that coffin shut too. They're like, "Ain't nobody coming out of this one this time."
Oh no,
Jim, get the hammer. Dang it, Jim.
Yeah, and I guess if she didn't knock on there, she would have suffocated, but nobody would have known it, except for her,
or she would have been buried alive.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well,
goodness gracious.
So if you're sitting around going, "Wait, is this real?" Yeah, these stories actually happen.
This is real life.
It shows you that life is a little crazier than the made-up stories that we see in movies sometimes.
Right.
So if you like this story and you have thoughts on maybe what happened or questions about what happened, or you don't have any questions at all, you just want to talk to us, Billy, how can they communicate from the other side?
From the other side. Well, just go on to facebook.com, type in All the Everything Podcast. You'll find us there. Hey, hit the follow button. Check out our content. Send us a DM if you want to be in a very special elite group of people.
Elite.
You get the firsthand knowledge of this show. We can add you to our, what do you call it? What is it? It's called
our secret group chat.
Our secret group chat. That's what I was looking for. Yes.
And I do want to say that we don't spam people in there, by the way.
No.
We're not like, please buy this or look at our merch or be a Patreon member. It's not anything like that. So don't worry. And not anybody in the group is going to spam you either.
Yeah. But yeah, so just send us a DM and we'll get you connected. You can go on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're there. So we're on the socials.
We're there watching and waiting. Always. Well, again, I thought these stories were awesome today. Crazy, creepy, unreal stories. And I hope you guys enjoyed them. So thanks for joining us again this week for yet another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. I hope you guys have a great week and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.